The opinions expressed are those of the program host and guest and are not those of WSTU. WSTU does not endorse products that may be mentioned. Any reproduction or retransmission of this broadcast is strictly prohibited without written consent of WSTU. The phone lines are open. Call in with your questions and comments at 220-9788. That's 220-WSTU. It's time for Stuart Laser Talk with your host, Dr. Tred J. Rizacker.
I'm 5'10" and 242 pounds.
I always say this is the biggest I'm ever going to be, and I said that like 20 pounds ago.
A third of Americans are obese, another third is overweight.
Obesity is the biggest threat to the health, welfare, and future of this country.
I've always been overweight.
I've got diabetes,
Sleep apnea, heart disease.
everything's hurting now.
It's a lot easier to lose weight than it is to keep weight off.
This is probably going to be the first generation of children who are going to have a shorter life expectancy than their parents.
18% of our children right now are obese.
It's not only health, it's about survival and well-being of the United States as a nation.
You don't crave broccoli, and our generation has grown up craving a Big Mac.
I want to think that there's something better for me.
Unless we're able to control this epidemic, we're going to have an abundance of chronic disease.
All of us have to be part of the solution to reduce obesity.
The weight of the nation is out of control, but we can fix that.
If we don't now take this as a really urgent national priority, we are all going to pay a really serious price.
Obesity will crush the United States in oblivion.
My name is Dr. Tred Rizacker, and I am the owner, a doctor, and the client at my Slim Body Laser Spa. I want to thank everyone for your support and your business over the last 12 years. We have reached a milestone at the Slim Body Laser Spa. We have taken care of over 6,000 people in the last 12 years. I never would have believed it could have been that successful. I have to pinch myself. We are located at the corner of Monterey Road and East Ocean Boulevard, across the street from the Fresh Market. It's called Dr. Tred's Slim Body Laser Spa, 2311 Southeast Ocean Boulevard in Stuart, on the way out to the beautiful Martin County beaches, to the Hutchinson Island. It's right next to Carmela's Pizza. It used to be the Haagen-Dazs, and I've been there now. It's 2,000 square feet. We have 3 laser lipo rooms, identical private rooms. We have a nice waiting area. We have a consultation area. We have a whole body vibration room with 3 vibration plates, and then a private room for people that don't want to shake in front of other people. We also have a full nutritional program set with weight loss consulting and counseling for those who are laser clients. We don't do weight loss unless you're a laser client. And we include the weight loss and the nutrition at no charge. Again, I've been doing it now 12 years. It's just incredible how successful it's been. You know, our phone number is 772-223-5885. I offer free consultation, and that would be a 30-minute sit down with me. I will show you the process. I will ask you questions. You are free to ask any questions you'd like. And if you're a good candidate and you like what you hear, we'll go over the pricing and sign you up and get you started on your body sculpting dream. Dream for most of you. But it's reality when you come to the Slim Body Laser Spa. You know, if I had to go back to the first day that I was introduced to the laser body contouring system, I never would have guessed ever that we'd be dominating the South Florida market and even the whole, Southeast market with the best, most effective non-surgical body sculpting and laser-assisted weight loss available. I coined the term laser-assisted weight loss. That is not something that was I learned in college. It's not something I copied from other practitioners. I realized that weight loss is difficult. That weight loss for many of you out there is darn near impossible. So you just assume that you're going to be fat. that you're going to be overweight. And with that comes the health problems that are associated with weight, carrying a lot of weight. And I knew that if there was a hack, which is an easier way to do something, if there was another procedure that could create willingness, could create results that was non-painful, non-invasive, doesn't have any downtime, you're not giving up your body parts, you're not sacrificing your tissues for some to look better and feel better. If it was something that was sustainable, that could be repeated again and again, I didn't think it existed. I've been dealing with weight for at least the last 15 years of my life. I didn't before. And I've watched thousands of clients, patients deal with weight with very spotty results. Some people manage to overcome it and never have the problem back again. Others just cycle in and out, yo-yo dieting, or they just assume that they're going to be heavy the rest of their life and they deal with it. They get on meds and get a little mini scooter to go around the stores on, and they deal with it. There has to be a better way, and there is a better way. What we've learned about weight loss, what us doctors have figured out is that, there's a lot of rules and things that have to be known with weight loss, which are pretty standardized. But the business of weight loss, the money that's made in getting people to try these Fitbits, these electrical devices, these counseling classes, this Noom, and now there's a new push for medical prescription weight loss products to be delivered through the mail by signing up for these websites. I see them come through on my feeds. It sounds like it's a club or a group that you're going to get consulting and counseling, and they're going to go over your issues, and then they're going to prescribe medications from a board certified doctor online. They're selling drugs. They're pushing drugs, phetamine, Saxenda, things that make you poop out undigested fat. How'd you like that? You're eating something fatty. Instead of your body absorbing it, you take this drug and it causes your body to make it into lumps, and then you don't digest it. It travels through and you release it into your bowels. And this is their solution to overeating. There's balloons they put in your belly that blow up the balloon so it fills up so you feel like you're full. There's bands that they put around your stomach to restrict and constrict the food that travels through it. It's called a lap band. They cut out parts of your stomach, and they remove the bag. It looks like a loaf of bread, and they cut everything out, but just one little corner, remove the rest. That's called stomach stapling or gastric bypass. A gastric bypass is where they bypass the whole stomach. They just remove it and connect the two pipes together. And then you lose your acidity. You lose your ability to produce acids necessary for digestion. You can have nutritional problems after stomach stapling and gastric bypass. A lot of people figure out a way to eat around it. And, not to mention these really crazy hormonal injection diet, this 500 calorie, I'm going to inject human HCG, which is, urine from a pregnant person. That's what HCG is. It's mainly from India, and women that are pregnant give their urine away, and then they synthesize it and they pull out the HCG molecule, the hormone, and then they package it and sell that to you for weight loss. Holy cow. And then, of course, for every drug that worked, they took it off the market because they had heart attacks and people had racing anxiety, such as the phetamine and the ephedrine. I mean, that was one of the most successful weight loss pills out there. What was it? Stacker? I think it was Super Stacker, they used to call it. These are aggressive, stimulants, amphetamines. that make you crank your body up so you think you don't eat, but at what price? Weight loss is full of 700,000 different ideas, books, pamphlets, whether you should eat keto, whether you should eat protein rich or less protein, more carbohydrate. There's Cabbage Patch diets. There's the Soup Patch diet. There's the Mediterranean diet. There's the Atkins diet. There are weight loss centers which go through a process of just recommending a whole bunch of supplements that you have to buy every single month in order to do their program. It's supplements that you could buy over the counter, things you could buy right over at GNC, but they package it in little slick little branding, and then that's where they get their profit. That's pretty much the quick weight loss model, by the way, which is now out of business. They failed over COVID. Didn't give the people back their money either. And some of the people that were involved in quick weight loss formed another company called Goals. And it's basically the same model. It's, they take your blood pressure, or when you come in, they weigh you and they take your blood pressure, right? That's what I saw. I went there and watched somebody go through the process. And from there, they told them they had to come in every day for blood pressure, for weigh-in and blood pressure. And then within the second day, they made a pitch of, you have to buy all these supplements. There's, essential fatty acids, there's nutrients, minerals, and these are not bad supplements. They're necessary. And then they have some special proprietary blends, which have herbs in it and stuff. They say that's supposed to quench your appetite. And then they also sell you little sippy sticks and drink mixes and mushrooms, soups and energy things. And really their income comes from selling of these products, not from the consulting or teaching you how to go to the store and eat properly. And no doctors there. And, they get their results, but it's still something that isn't really setting you free, because you have to keep buying those supplements again and again and again if you want to go to that type of process. And then there's the food delivery services, Jenny Craig, Nutrisystem, and Weight Watchers is turning into a food delivery system. They sell you a lot of food and drink mixes and things to help offset the cost, whereas they didn't do that for many years. And so with food delivery, they give you a certain amount of food that you eat every day. It's packaged and boxed, and it comes in by UPS, and you eat that, what they give you for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And they do work. You do lose weight because you're controlling your intake, and it's a set point. But the problem with food delivery is it's packaged. A lot of it's processed, and it's food is social. Eating out and spending time with your friends and your family and rewarding yourself after maybe a busy day or a very sick, like a birthday, or you go fishing and you catch a beautiful red snapper and you want to eat it. That doesn't go along with your food delivery service. So a lot of people will abandon that, and then they gain the weight back. So the other thing that's really hard about weight loss is a lot of people believe that if they just go to the gym and start exercising, that they can lose weight, and not understanding the basics of weight loss. It's very hard to lose weight exercising. You can, don't get me wrong, but it is a slow, laborious, very slow to see any definite results. Now, exercise is critically important for life and health and living and having health. Please understand that. But if you're looking to get results for body sculpting and looking good fast, exercise is very difficult. It takes a long time. And a lot of you out there, once you start exercising, you get hungry. Makes you eat more. And also, because now that you're exercising, you assume that you can burn off the bagel that you had, or maybe that hot dog with sauerkraut that they sold when you walked out of the gym. You assumed that you could burn that off now by just exercising more. And that is a fallacy for the most part. Obviously, you can burn off anything that you eat, but you're not going to do it very quickly or efficiently. So if you overeat, if you have a bagel, which is 300 calories plus cream cheese, 350, 400 calories, and you eat that and you want to burn that off, you want to run it off, you would have to run vigorously for 2 hours to burn 300 calories. That's how efficient your body is at consuming, conserving energy. However, if you wanted to lose a pound of fat or lose, weight, all you have to do is eat a couple of 100 calories less than you normally eat. Everybody has their normal eating amount that they eat every day. So, and it's based on your habits, your age, your weight, your height, your gender, and your body fat percentage. It's called your resting caloric intake. If you do not know your BMR, which is what determines basal metabolic rate, how many calories you burn at rest, you cannot be successful in losing weight, people. You need to know that number. I learned my number when I lost weight finally, and I was successful. I did it by knowing what that burn rate was. For me, it was 2,400 calories. And what that means is if you were to fall asleep, not eat any food, and not exercise for 24 hours laying on the couch, you're burning energy to stay alive. Your body is utilizing energy from within. That number of calories that your body requires is called your burn rate. And your goal the next day is to eat that amount, but no more than that. So if you burn 2,400 calories during the day, the next day you need to replace the 2,400 calories that you burned. And that would go on every day. And if you eat 2,400 calories, nothing is going to change for you. Okay. Your weight is not going to change. You're not going to body sculpt. The only way to lose weight or to change your body composition is to either eat less than your BMR or exercise more than your BMR. Put out more energy. And then you can eventually build muscle and change your metabolism. Or by eating less, you can start to burn fat, and that will change your metabolism. So these types of actions and things are set in their standards, their laws. This isn't my opinion. It isn't something I read and thought I'd share with you. This is how it works. Now, there's other factors that come into why we can't lose weight and other issues that maybe are more, they're out there, they're real. And those would be things like hormonal profiles, the changing of your hormones. A lot of people that have hormonal difficulties. And what do I mean by hormonal difficulties? You could have an underactive thyroid gland. Your thyroid gland is not producing enough thyroxine, and thus your metabolism starts to slow down because thyroid is the master hormone which controls your temperature regulation and your body's ability to activate cells to work. That's what the thyroid does. So when you have low thyroid, you can have excessive weight gain. And the opposite occurs if you have excessive thyroid. They call that Graves' disease. Your eyes start to bug out. You become very thin and emaciated because the thyroid's working too much. There's also changes in hormones when it comes to your sex hormones. And in a female, that would be estrogen and progesterone, 28-day cycle. You produce progesterone and estrogen, and that's how you create your ability to become pregnant. When you have normal amounts of estrogen and progesterone, you are very lean and muscular and can maintain a good lean body weight because you're able to become pregnant. You're 15 or 16, you reach puberty, and you go on till you're 50 with this very nice hormonal profile of estrogen and progesterone and a little bit of testosterone. And these are the people that can exercise, lose weight. But something happens when you get pregnant. You stop making progesterone. When you become pregnant, you stop having your period. That's how you know you're pregnant. And hormonally, your body changes. It adapts to that. And that adaptation is called estrogen dominance. And estrogen dominance, when you're pregnant, causes your body's fat to be relocated to the outer compartment, the subcutaneous compartment, the compartment on the outside. So a pregnant woman who is going to be feeding her child for the next 9 months to 2 years after the baby is born, she's got to develop the food for that child. It has to be an automatic process. So when a woman becomes pregnant, the food she eats no longer is stored in the visceral fat, which is underneath the muscle around the baby. It now goes to the outside, called subcutaneous fat accumulation. And that fat will go for the 9 months to be 20 to 30 pounds of fat. Baby's born, they start to breastfeed, and now those calories are released for the baby's benefit and for mom's benefit. 2 years after the pregnancy and the baby is older, those hormones come back to normal. Progesterone and estrogen become balanced again, and she now becomes lean and muscular easily, and now she's a mommy protecting machine. She needs those muscles to protect that child. And, when you have good sexual hormones, now when it comes to men, we have lots of testosterone produced by our sexual organs, and we have a little bit of estrogen. Now, body fat produces estrogen, just so you know that. And the reason why men can produce estrogen is because their body fat can produce estrogen. We do not have ovaries, so we're not going to produce it from there. And by the way, women, your ovaries produce estrogen, but so does your body fat also. Now, aging and the symptoms of aging, when you look at somebody who is aging and they're getting thinner hair, maybe they're having drier skin, thin skin, they're starting to there's many changes that happen in women. They start to carry fat around their stomach and around their legs, around their hips. Men will carry the fat around their belly and up in their chest, the moobs. These are signs of aging, of what we call estrogen dominance. Estrogen dominance is when estrogen becomes more of a player. It starts to overwhelm our body's systems, because as we're getting older, we're developing more fat. Our muscle tone is dropping. We have less muscle tone, which is a natural part of aging. By the way, if you're 50 years old, you've pretty much maxed out your muscular ability without excessive exercise. In other words, every year after 50, you lose 1% of your muscle tone. So from 50 to 60, you can lose 10% of your muscle tone. From 60 to 70, you can lose another 10%. And that would be fine if you were losing weight at the same time. But the problem is you're not losing weight at the same time. You're actually replacing fat. You're replacing muscle with fat. So when your body percentage goes from 20% fat to 80% lean, when you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, and early 50s, it starts to change. Your body fat percentage goes up and your muscle tone goes down. And this is what leads to a slow metabolism. High body fat and low muscle tone is low metabolism. Fat does not need energy to function, so it doesn't burn energy. Fat stores energy. So muscle burns energy, burns glucose. It's what moves your body. It's what moves your fluids. It's what gets you up and down. That is what we call metabolism. Your body's burning more energy because you have higher muscle tone. And that's how it works. Now, you can have low metabolism because of hormonal changes, but you can rectify and fix that by eating the right foods and exercising more for the most part. And thus, we have the problems with easy weight loss. It's tough. If you're hormonally challenged, if you're under stress. So there's another really big factor here about why we can't lose weight. And the next one would be stress. And what exactly do I mean by stress? Stress is when your body is in a state of either anxiety, fear, awareness, overly concerned about your time or your space, you're feeling threatened. Stress is when you are, concerned about things that you can't really control and you're worrying. Worrying creates stress. So does anger. So does just overall discontentment with your life, this feeling of unsatisfied, not feeling, like you're included in the world or group. These lead to stress. And stress is a very interesting action on our body. In other words, we have two ways of responding to something. We can respond very peacefully and very normally, or we can respond with aggression and in the stress response. And they're designed to protect you from, fighting, from dying, from animals, from tigers. It's the fight or flight is what we call it in medicine. It's fight or flight. You're either going to fight or you're going to run. Those are the two options you have when you're confronted with something that might hurt you. Now, for your ancestors, it used to be the saber-toothed tiger or the woolly mammoth that was chasing them, and they ran and they fought. And when the mammoth or tiger left, they were pretty much good, no stress, animal gone. Body goes back to normal. But humans, on the other hand, in this wonderfully energetic, with lots of stuff going on, a 24-hour news cycle, from dying of a pandemic to now we're going to die of nuclear war with Russia, it just never ends. This constant 24-hour news cycle of stress and fear and interpretation raises your blood sugar. It's called high cortisol. That increase of blood sugar is designed to give you energy to fight, to give you energy to run. But since that's not what we do when we watch the news, we basically go home and stress out and listen to it in the morning and wonder if I'm going to be here tomorrow, or did I bring my masks, and what's going to happen with my trip that I planned with my kids, and what about their future? These are real issues that we carry around, and this creates high blood sugar, high stress, and the result is increased body fat. It basically makes you fat. So, we're 80% overweight in America. 8 out of 10 of adults, men and women, are over 25 to 30% overweight right now. That's a statistic. It's getting worse, not better. And from that 80%, 40%, half of you are 30 to 40% body fat. Now, when you get up around 40 to 50% body fat, what that means is that half of your body's mass is fat. It should be the other way. 80% of your mass should be lean and muscular with 20% body fat. You start moving into the 30, 40, 50% body fat markers, your life is not very pleasant anymore. Your back hurts, your knees hurt, your bladder, you got to urinate all the time. You're having a difficulty turning over, sleeping, moving, you're inflamed, your joints hurt. Not to mention you feel bad about how you look. You think, you don't feel like you fit in, or life hasn't been so good. You're carrying around a lot of weight. Your knees and ankles start to lose, they become painful, and your feet will splay out. You lose your arches in your feet. Not to mention your body becomes intravasted with fat. It's called fatty liver disease. Your heart, the pericardial sac, becomes filled with fat around it. It compresses your heart. It also reduces the ability for your lungs to drop, to breathe. When your body has too much body fat, it fills up your chest, your breathing cavity. And when you go to take a deep breath, you can't because of the fat under the diaphragm. That leads to respiratory problems, a tendency towards pneumonia, a tendency towards having breathing issues. Not to mention the high blood fats that are circulating through your arteries. Now they're collecting in the veins, in the vessels, in the arteries, creating plaque, arteriosclerotic plaque, closing off the openings and the lumens of the arteries that feed blood to your brain. Your cerebral arteries can become clogged and affected. And it can also affect the arteries that go down into your leg. The femoral arteries can become occluded and blocked with all that fat in the vessels themselves. And because your body is holding on to too much body fat, you keep making it, your body protects itself by forming an insulin resistance. It becomes resistant to insulin. It's called type 2 diabetes. What does that mean? That means your body is carrying so much body fat all the time because you keep eating foods that create it. And instead of you turning into the size of a small truck, your body stops allowing insulin to work. It becomes resistant to insulin, so you can't make more fat. However, because you don't change your diet, you're still eating all those refined carbohydrates. Those substrates that would have been turned into fat now are passed out through the kidneys in the form of increased urinary output. And that would be the person who has type 2 diabetes at the beginning of it is releasing lots of urine through their urine at night because the body has to get rid of the fatty acids. And it does so by peeing it out. And when that happens, you're dehydrated and your kidneys are now working extra hard to keep you alive, basically. Over time, this leads to kidney failure and kidney disease. People with kidney disease end up on those kidney dialysis machines. I know of 3 dialysis centers right now that have opened up within the last 5 years. They probably hold 50 to 100 people in each one. You can see them. There's one right on Snake Road. On Cove Road? Is it? It's called Frenius. There's also one over here across from right my office. You look down inside, you see like 50 chairs all lined up, people going in there for kidney dialysis. That comes from medications too, drugs, medicines, toxins, poisonings. And over time, body fat can lead to something that's very, very unfriendly, and that's called neuropathy. And that would be numbness and tingling in your feet or hands. And high blood sugar is a leading cause of neuropathy. And neuropathy is a slow, progressive condition which affects your feet and your toes. It leads to pain, numbness, then muscle weakness, contractures of your feet where your feet no longer are able, the muscles become weakened and your foot starts to collapse. And then you end up with injuries to your feet and toes just by walking around. And that's the real deal, you guys. So to get back to how I started this was that I found a device which I call laser assisted weight loss. In other words, I'm using an FDA cleared aesthetic laser, documented, demonstrable. It has research. It works. It's proven to work. And what it does, excuse me, is it reduces the subcutaneous compartment, the fat that's on the outside. When you become overweight and you start to spill over into your skin area, over your belt, that's not visceral fat. That's not fat that surrounds your organs. That's subcutaneous fat. And in order to change subcutaneous fat with dieting and exercising, it's really hard. I mean, you can lose weight easier than you can change your shape. I promise you. You can drop 10, 20 pounds and still look about the same. If you want to get rid of the outer fat, you got to go through the inner fat first, because the outer fat is accumulative and it's there for end of life, end of starvation. You're not going to lose that first. Believe me when I tell you this. You're going to lose the visceral first, and then the outer fat comes down slowly. What we're able to do at the Slim Body Laser Spa, what I'm able to do with this FDA cleared laser, is I can target the outer fat first, just like liposuction would treat it without going inside. It treats the outer fat. And so does this horrible cool sculpting thing, which is starting to really, really show its true colors, is how it can hurt people. There's a big article in People magazine this week about Linda Evangelista. She was one of the top 5 supermodels with Naomi Campbell and Cindy Crawford back in those days. And she at 52 decided to have the fat freezing, the cool sculpting at 52 years old. And believe me, she was beautiful. And that process left her with a series of hard lumps of frozen skin, which never healed and never went away. Of course, it's not still frozen. Now it's just a hard lump. It's called Idiopathic Adipose Hyperplasia. IAP, Idiopathic Adipose Hyperplasia. And this is when you freeze the tissue between these cool sculpting device, and it squeezes it. And then when you release it, that lump doesn't go away, or it goes away, but then it comes back, and she's disfigured from it. I mean, deformed. And she's in a lawsuit with Allergen, the maker of the people that bought the cool sculpt. They didn't make it. They bought it. And she's suing for $50 million. And I bet she gets it, because I saw the pictures. It's horrible. But most people don't know about that. You should know about that. So what I'm doing at the spa is I am using this FDA cleared low-level laser, demonstrable, measurable. It doesn't care if you're black, white, tall, skinny, Republican, Democrat, Libertarian. It doesn't care. It doesn't matter. It's designed to open up the fat cells, release the fatty acids, and then your body absorbs it over the next day or two and burns it as energy. Every day that you put the laser on your body, you lose about 1/8 of an inch to 1/2 inch of fat measured by a tape each day. 9 sessions, 6 to 9 inches in only 3 weeks. And that's without doing any harsh dieting or any strenuous exercise at all, because we're not using it to lose weight. My nose itches. We're using it to get rid of surface fat, spot fat reduction, body sculpting, and at the same time, because you're with us for the 3 to 4 weeks, I am working up a nutritional program for you based on your skills, what you bring to the table. I'm not going to recommend food and planning and nutrition if you got it all under control. There's a lot of people that know exactly what to do. They follow what they're supposed to do, and they don't need any help. These are not usually my clients. my clients need help. They don't know what to eat. They've lost touch with their food and their intake, and they can't manage it. And over time, they've developed these fatty pockets, these fatty areas, and it seems unsurmountable to have to go to the gym and do what it takes to get rid of it. And it is difficult. And what I've been able to do with the laser assisted weight loss is the laser assists by getting rid of surface fat, subcutaneous fat, the stuff you can squeeze between your fingers, what you can squeeze under your chin. When you hold your arm up, those bat wings, that's subcutaneous fat. We can shrink that, reduce that, show you that with pictures, guarantee a result, and at the same time, you have a nutritional program that we worked up for you. And that means your body fat percentage, your resting caloric intake, your total body water, how hydrated you are, and also a review of your skills when it comes to eating. Where are you with food? Are you in control of your food? Are you out of control? Are you hooked on vices such as sugars, cakes, candies, alcohol? These have to be taken into account because most of you are not going to change those things. There's some pleasure in having a drink and maybe having a nice cupcake, I guess. Right? You shouldn't have to give it up, but you better learn how to use it properly and not let it kill you, because those same substances which we love so much, those sweets and those alcohols, it's a double-edged sword. If you go too deep into it, you know what happens. It cuts you to ribbons and you end up sick. And then you don't want to give it up because it's giving you some kind of, you don't want to act like you made a mistake. So the Slim Body Laser Spa, 6,000 clients, 12 years. That's pretty much what we do. When you first come in, you'll fill out a history, very brief, name, address, area you'd like to body sculpt, if you have any health problems. That's our initial paperwork. And then you'll come in and we'll give you a little tour of the office, show you the before and after pictures, show you all the testimonials, remind you that this is a 9-session program, 3 times a week for 3 weeks. Okay. And then you will be put into the consultation area and a 6-minute DVD will be shown by the manufacturer of our equipment, so you can see the technology, see what it takes. At that point, I will come in and introduce myself and basically ask you why you think you need help. You know, I mean, if you don't think you need help, you're in the wrong place, because we're there to help you. And then you'll hear what's going on, why they need help, what's happened, their past, their social, issues, areas they want to sculpt, areas they're okay with, how much help that they think they need. And then from there, I explain more about how the lipo laser works and also how the nutritional part works, because there's 2 factors here. There's spot fat reduction, which is the realm of cool sculpting and liposuction, and my lipo laser, my low-level laser. And then you've got the food part, which would be more under the guidance of Weight Watchers or this Jenny Craig and selling you a whole bunch of supplements and things you probably could use but don't need. We combine them together at the Slim Body Laser Spa, but we don't sell supplements and we don't sell food. We sell you knowledge. We help you set up a food plan. This is a journal. Write down what you eat. You need to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You don't want to skip these meals. Okay, that food you wrote down, what are you eating here? You're starting your day with oatmeal. Well, that's okay once in a while, but you don't want to do that every day because you need protein. Oh, you're skipping meals. So you have a big cup of coffee, get in your car, and you don't eat till 12. Well, that's not good because you broke a fast. You were sleeping 6 or 8 hours, and you need to start your day with protein. If you miss that, these are little things that we point out in the daily journals. So, so you're looking at your pictures. Oh my God, I lost inches. My belly looks better. I dropped 3 pant sizes, 3 dress sizes. Now what do? Well, here's your plan. It's a nutritional plan. It's made for you specially. And we don't charge extra for that. That's kind of what I do at the spa. And the other part that's really great about the spa is we have something called an alumni program. And an alumni program is pricing, which is a 66% discount off the first price you had. And that's where you can come in for maintenance, for touch-ups, for having more visits. You never have to pay the first amount up front again. You paid your price. We developed these processes for you so you could be able to go off on your own and be successful after the laser works. But if you need to come back, you can always get the alumni pricing. And that's great. So I'm located at the corner of Monterey and East Ocean Boulevard. It's down there on Ocean Boulevard that takes you out to the beaches. You can find us by going to Monterey Road in US 1, going straight down Monterey past the airport. And you're going to come to East Ocean Boulevard, make a right as if you're going to the beaches. We're immediately on the left in the Carmelas Plaza there. Walk-ins are available. You have to just call us. We can't always start people when you walk in, but we can schedule a time within a couple of hours usually, or the next day for sure. We don't charge for consultations. It isn't that it's not valuable. I'm a doctor. I have a license, and I get $300 minimum for a half-hour consultation. But when it comes to the laser lipo, most people don't know enough about it. They have never experienced it. The things that they read about maybe aren't factual. And if they've asked their friends, most people don't know what it is, or if they do, they act like they've been to it, but it's not what we do, right? So you need to come in and find out for yourself if this is something that could help you. And for that reason, I offer a free consultation. Now, I know we're going to be at the Garlic Festival this weekend. If you're bored, I think it's going to be a nice weekend. If you've got nothing to do, the Port St. Lucie Civic Center out in front there, they're having something called the Garlic Festival. And that means food, and I think they got music back there. It's a fun time. A lot of people like the garlic festivals, and there's one at the Civic Center Saturday and Sunday, and we will be there with a booth. You can come in and meet the staff, and we can sign you up and answer any questions that you might have. What else has been going on there at the spa? It's been really great to see so many people. We've had 4 or 5 couples, husband and wives, people that are getting married, coming in and doing the procedure together. And we always give a discount when 2 people from the same family are doing it together, because they get better results if they help each other. You know, it's very hard to make changes when it comes to food and dieting and exercising in a family when one person is in and the other person's not. It's really hard. And it's like trying to, if 2 people are smoking and one decides to become a non-smoker and the other one smokes around her, that's hard. So we give a benefit and a discount when people sign up together as a couple. And if you come to our spa, we have one booklet which has nothing but couples that did it together and how successful they are. We just had a couple complete it, and I've never seen people that were so happy of the results that they had. His belly that he hid under his waist and shirt was massive. I was surprised. It is like almost you can't even see it in less than 4 weeks of laser. And of course, he was compliant. He ate better and did the vibration plate and followed our suggestions. But he's so happy, I can't even tell you. Feels better, sleeps better. He's able to roll over in bed now. He's not tired when he wakes up. It's so many areas that it helps. The other thing about slim body laser spas is we're also dealing with detoxification. It is a known fact that we're being slowly poisoned over time by little poison events. They call it persistent organic compounds. And that might be the car exhaust that you smell when you're driving your car, or the plastics that you're using to put in your foods and your plastic cups. It could also be the chemicals and the types of cleaning supplies you use at home, the thinners and the sprays and the Clorox and these things that smell clean. Even the smell of your fabric softener is chemical and petroleum based. And when we get exposed to these little poisons and these toxins, we absorb them. We can't get rid of them. They don't come out through the urine. You don't poop them out. They're stored in fatty tissue. Your body fat stores that stuff. And then body fat protects the toxins. So when you want to get rid of toxins, you got to get rid of body fat. You got to do them together. So we need help. So we also have programs for detoxification. All right. If you're interested in that consultation, give us a call. Our phone number is 772-223-5885. Go to your cell phone, hit the little button and say, Dr. Tread Slim Body. It'll give us our phone number. My name is very unique. Just type in drtread.com, Dr. Tread Stewart Slim Body, Dr. Tread Laser, and you will come up with all of our URLs, our stuff. I have hundreds of videos online that show this radio show. We're there to help. You can't go wrong by giving us a call. Please do. I will see you next week? Well, we'll be at the Garlic Festival this weekend, okay? Thanks a lot for your support. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.